like plugging the dike. There's just too many holes to plug, but they're in it. The game hasn't started yet.
You're right.
And there's a grand final berth up for grabs.
Exactly right. We've seen some miracles in this great game of AFL football across the journey, and in amateur level here in one of the best leagues in country Victoria. It is about to get underway here at Memorial Oval. The winner through to the grand final. It doesn't get much bigger than this, ladies and gentlemen. Kyabram, they're desperate for redemption, but can the Bears pull off a little bit of magic, much what like Kyabram did here only 4 years ago against Benalla on that very memorable day in one of the best finals I've ever seen. Here we go. Umpire throws it up, middle of the ground, smashed straight down by Norris. Morris comes in. Don't you love it when they get consecutive possessions? Norris and Morris. Umpire ties it up and will throw it up. He taps it straight back down. That time Holland was able to win the tap down. This one doesn't seem to be going anywhere. We thought there'd be a lot of stoppages. It'll be tight and scrappy this afternoon. Tough conditions. Hollywood.
Speaking of ins, Lukey Morris didn't play last week. Geez, welcome back.
So Bombers get the first clearance out of the centre, and it's Mattingly, Mattingly puts it right down the throat of Mueller.
And he was off then, Mueller. Yep. He was off. So that should have been dropping the footy.
Okay, so the mark is there. Kyabram inside 50, and it's certainly Kyle Mueller to have the first shot on goal in this, the second semi-final here at Memorial Oval. Euroa, Mueller just stabs at it. Horrible looking kick, really. It was chopped off there by Hiscock and tumbled over the line and out of bounds.
Interesting.
It was. Very interesting.
Looks as though he was almost turf-toed it. Stuck the boot into the grass early days. I was thinking when he got on the end of that, what a great mark that was. As now Mangan grabs it out of the ruck. He kicked it there, was by Edwards, now picked up. And Brett was happy enough to rush it through for a behind, and the first score of the day, with thanks to Shepparton Optical Services, ladies and gentlemen. G'day to Alan Smedge and the team at Shepparton Optical Services this afternoon. Great sponsors of 1FM Live and Local. A thumping kick in the Gagliardi direction. Couldn't quite take the mark, kept his feet though. But they won it back, did Kyabram. It was Morris. He went over to Mattingly, who chucks it into the forward pocket here. Or, gee, could be a free kick to Kyabram here. I think it will be.
Yep.
And hitting the deck there appeared to be Morris. Who's going to have a shot on goal. How long since Lukey Morris has played a game of football?
Yeah, not sure.
From memory, stats man?
Oh, he hasn't been out for too long. I'll look that up, but he hasn't been out for too long, I know that.
Okay, well, he strolls in. The reset shot on goal. He's left it near side. As a matter of fact, he's missed everything, and it's yada bounds on the full. The resultant free kick will go to the Shep Footy Club. Deep.
Jack Wilson, I think it might be, deep in the pocket.
Thank you very much, Craig Potter, for you on 1FM.
Wilson brings it in, deep in the back pocket for the Bears. Big high fly by one of the Bombers, but can't complete the mark. Gagliardi's there under the ball. Bears have numbers off half-back. Nice players, a quick curry kick forward. No one inside 50 at all. It's inside the Bears 50 at the moment. Comes down to Brett. Brett has a flying shot for goal, but it has missed the lot. Not out of bounds on the full, though. I think it bounced.
The right option from Joel Brett, because if he picked that up, it would have been crunched with a hard tackle.
Luke Morris played his last game round 18, I should say, against Seymour.
And the Magpies are swooping.
Yeah, look at them.
And Harry Boyd and also Vic do battle for the ruck. Boyd wins it down to the front of the pack, but they have the numbers, the Bombers. Mattingly gets a left foot kick out of defence, but it's only going to be marked by the Bears.
Must have been touched. Was it?
Mark.
Paid the mark there, and it's going to be Jonty Wardle out there on half forward. He doesn't have many shots for goals, does he, Statsman?
No, not as a rule, but he does play midfield. He does play back as well, so he very rarely goes into the forward line as such and stays at home as a forward. But
yeah, he's kicked 4 goals in season 2019, so this would be for goal number 5 for Wardle. He gets underneath the kick, it's high up to the hot spot. Boyd, the big fly over the back, couldn't quite take the mark. Rush through for a behind, but where Shepparton, they're going to have to take every possible opportunity this afternoon. As the footy at fullback now. Kai ejected from back.
The wind.
Even the wind just gusted up really big time. That's a high tackle there. And the umpire needs to pay a free kick on Orion Kerr.
Brad Edwards saw it.
Has the footy, and the wind is just blowing an absolute gale down there
You
now.
have a shot. Really?
Exactly right. All you need to do is just sort of start it.
Right, goal post.
Right goalpost, okay.
Yep.
I think he heard you, Kyle. I think he's lining up.
Yep, pop it up there.
Top of
Back
the
yourself in.
Yeah.
And the wind will do the rest. So Orion Kerr wanders over the paint of the 50-metre arc. The kick looks really good and straight over the goal. Umpire's hat, and the Bears are off to the ultimate flyer here. And they get the first goal of the game and move their score on to 1-1-7 over Kyabram. One behind with thanks to Shepparton Optical Services.
Yeah, good start for the Shep Footy Club, and lovely hit from Kerr, who probably, if it was a non-windy day, probably wouldn't make the distance, but the wind here today will be a massive advantage for the side kicking towards, if you're familiar with the Euroa, the netball court ends or the Sevens Creek end of the footy ground today. So lovely finish from Kerr there. Bears off to a flyer.
Ball back in the centre, and it's fisted by Norris for Kyabram out of the centre. Can't quite get it out of that glue pot, and it's socked by Nick Allen now, out towards a half-forward flank for the Bears.
Oh, Snowy.
It was Snowy Brett. Hand pass it towards the boundary line. Now, what will the umpire say? Oh, throw it in, he says, and very hard to pay deliberate in the Country League, the GVL.
Yeah, Jack Sheldon paying pretty close attention to Joel Snowy Brett there. Looks like a clear move as the boundary umpire throws it back in front position. Tommy Thorson back in at the side this afternoon. Wheels around onto the right up to the hot spot. One-on-one Boyd's there. Did his arm get held? Doesn't matter because climbing it up and snapping it around the body for the second goal for the Bears is Jackie Wilson. He's got his first of the afternoon. And the second goal for the Shep Footy Club, and they are up and about early. The Shep Footy Club, don't worry about that. They move on to 2-1-13. Sorry, Hollywood, but thanks to Shepparton Optical Services. Kyabram one behind.
One thing we didn't mention pre-game is the Kyabram Footy Club. They're a slow starter, and they have they did last week. They had in the previous games. We've seen them, and their starts, they need to straighten up on them, because if good sides come against them, they're off to a fly here today, the Shep Footy Club. 2 goals in pretty much 5 minutes.
Holland won the tap, but defensive side, the Bombers work it out, although Brett again, nice smother there by Edwards on Brett, but Nick Allen has the ball. He caresses the ball out towards half-forward flank, comes out towards a flying McGregor with the goal! McGregor with 3 goals in 3 minutes, the Bears! Look out!
Look out. Look out.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, isn't it? And then Nicky Allen, you just see both these boys getting involved. Hollywood to come back into the side. Tommy Thorson there getting his hands on the footy early. And Nick Allen as well, just really patient, experienced, cool under pressure there. Found the good option outside there. And McGregor, just you get the confidence there with the wind as well that you can just simply send it goalward and it'll go through. And that is exactly what's happened for 2 of Shep's 3 goals, who now lead by 18 points. Ball back in the middle of the ground.
Flat-footed kite.
At the moment, Coolstock wins the hard one, gets it to Mattingly, disposal number 4 with thanks to AJ's early doors for him. Make that 5, but he turned it straight over. And a kick, a high up and under one for Shepparton, half-forward flank. Here they go again, edging it towards inside 50, picked up by Wilson. Wilson gets a handball over the top. Gagliardi, was he held? No. Joel Snowy Brett there, doesn't look like he's in possession either. They're under the pump big time here, Arkai. Bullocking his way through there was Pell, but he handballed it straight back to McGregor. Snap kick right up until the top of the hot spot there, and it was Boyd, couldn't quite take the mark. Rush through for a minor. And they're under the pump big time here. So 3-2, they'll move on to 20. They lead by 19 points to the Bears.
When they don't get it on their terms, Kai, they panic, and they are now at the moment. They're a little bit rattled, the Bombers.
The kick from the Bombers out from half-back is well marked out there. Oh, slipping over was Edwards. He turned the ball over. The Bears back inside 50. Boyd!
Well, it was actually, it was actually Coolstock there that went to the slip.
Yeah.
And he just for whatever reason, just got off balance there, and we know that this ground can sometimes be very tricky underfoot. He's lost his grip there, Hollywood, and just straight up slipped, copped it up, and all of a sudden Boyd having a set shot on goal.
Hey, they're in all sorts here, Kyabram.
They're rattled, they're rattled. Here comes Boyd. Harry Boyd stabs a nice kick. It's missed to the near side and through for a behind to Harry Boyd. With this breeze, 3 goals in the opening minutes here. The Bears now leading 3 goals, 3-21, a 20-point lead, and we've only been playing Statsman about 9.5 minutes into this first term. Of course, that's on the Shepparton Optical Services scoreboard as the Bombers bring it back in now.
Certainly do, and the quarterback Sheldon. Let's see how strong this wind is. You'll find out the distance of this kick. Well, low, flat, hard, penetrating kick there by Sheldon, but crumbing it really well there was Stretton. And his kick was terrible. Was it touched off the boot? No, it's just come straight off the side of the boot, and it's ended up out of bounds on the full. And they're the sort of moments that they need to take advantage of, the Shep Footy Club. Make every post a winner. Hey, while the sun is shining, is exactly what they need to do. While they've got this slight advantage, they just need to get on with it. As Lockie Smith now has the footy, half that back flank for the Bombers. Long right foot kick up towards the centre wing there. Front position, Wardle. He got a free kick.
Yeah, got crunched.
Really brave there. Always puts his body on the line. Does
No movement,
Wardle.
Hollywood, from the Bombers. There's no movement at all.
No.
Well, that's another free.
They
No, out of bounds.
are a side that, and what I've gathered in my little observation about them, is when they get rattled and they get in positions like this, they get panicky and they don't trust that their structures are going to handle up in terms of their kicks. But that was just a bomb. I know the wind. Look at that breeze. Just hold that footy up. It's going to be very hard kicking goals towards the Euroa town end today, boys.
As the kick comes out centre wing for the Bears, the hand pass goes wide. It comes out towards player in McGregor. Over the top to Cox. He's claimed, tackled. No prior opportunity, said the umpire in centre wing. The umpire says, give it to me. I will ball it up. So 20 points the margin. Shepparton leading Kyabram. Second semi-final, a spot in the grand final. Harry Boyd, big high leap, fists it clear. Comes to ground now, taken to ground, and another ball up. About 65 metres out from the Shepparton goal, J-Dub.
Whitford there, put his body on the line. Might have got one high, but didn't. According to the umpire, now Stretton down to Allen. Allen just carefully pops it inside. That's got to be a free kick there. Gee, Jack Wilson very unlucky. Sloppy handball. Here's Kai under the pump. Big time again. Pressure there for Jack Sheldon. And he found the line. Really good pressure. But gee, how Jack Wilson doesn't get a free there? Wow. Just the football nowhere near the two players, dragged to ground. Prime position. Umpire's in a better one than what I am. So Kyabram now reject the attack there, but only momentarily, of the Shep Footy Club, as Hiscock got it to Brett, who just thumps one long. Almost went all of the way. And all of the attacking at this point in time, they just can't get any clean ball use at the moment, Kyabram. He's being done by the Shep Footy Club.
Something you don't see every day as well is that Harry Boyd out-muscled Mangan, which was very, very good. He's a strong boy, Boyd.
Sheldon kicks it out of fullback for the Bombers. Comes down now to Edwards. Gets a quick hand pass. The kick out to the half-forward direction. Against the breeze, the Bombers only 1 point on the board at the moment. The ball is paddled over the line. And 22 plays 1 point, and against a stiff breeze, the Kai Bombers, as we said, goals will be a premium towards the town end here at Euroa as the ball comes back in. The ball hit down to the front of the pack where Tom Thorson roved the pack. He kicked the ball inside, down centre wing, but a good mark taken back there by Lockie Smith.
Bread and butter for this bloke.
So Lockie Smith now with the footy. He possesses it half back. His kick looks pretty nice out in the Reeves direction, but just overcooked it a little. Pell came in with a hard body on Hiscock there and enabled Morris, it was, to break free, and a beautiful pass up in the Pettifer direction, who takes a mark in the forward pocket for the Bombers. And he'll have the second set shot opportunity for Kyabram this afternoon. 21 points they trail by. They desperately need one, and this would be well against the trend of play, as we've gone 14 into the first with thanks to Shepparton Optical Services. So the former Tiger and the Centurion goal kicker here in the Goulburn Valley League launches long for goal. He's put it up high. Oh, Mangan's taken the mark. It didn't quite make the distance. And Mangan has marked, but will be on a super tight angle. But I tell you what, from this position, I've seen him manufacture goals like this before. And he may very well back himself. I reckon he'll want to wheel around the way he's set up for the check side. Banana, that's exactly what he does. And he has kicked that straight across the face. It just sneaks in for a behind. So second score for Kai. They trail by 20 points thanks to Shepparton Optical.
Yeah, they're taking a while. We're just sort of waiting for Kai. But full credit to the Shep Footy Club at the moment to be able to hold them goalless 15 minutes into the first quarter. You rarely see that, boys.
No, as Mitchell Brett kicks the Bears back in from full-back. It's got a lot on it, this kick. No mark taken out there far side. The hand pass comes across. The Bombers looking to go back inside 50. They do, but it's a series of paddles and taps. And finally it ends up with Mattingly, who kicks one to the teeth of goals. Up they go. The pack flies off hands. Taken. Pettifer hand pass. Good hand pass. Good tackle also on him by Thorson. And the ball's taken over the line and out of bounds. Left forward pocket for the Bombers.
Yeah, 20 points, and all the talk before the game was Kai by how many?
Well, it almost has a whiff of an understrength Bears side will back off a bit from Kai.
Well, 20 points is their deficit at the moment. There's some bodies being slung at the football there. Joshy Pell won the hard one, and then he kicked it smartly to Weirden, who wants to play on here. The kick is an absolute mung, but it's up to the hot spot and it's effective. Mangan couldn't hold on to the mark. Well defended there by a young fella wearing number 30. Is he wearing 37 or should be 31? Is it Small?
No, Small's got 37.
37, is it? Okay,
yep.
The pen just died on me when I was putting the top stroke.
Yeah, he's picked up Kyle Mueller in that back line for Shep.
Yes, as I did. You were right on the money there, Potsy, because I saw a 31 on the sheet. That's the number we were given with the late inclusion, but he's actually wearing number 37. He defended Mangan very well in that situation. The ball comes back in, slapped straight down now. Right place, right time was Ricky's. And dropping the football there. Too much time, as a matter of fact. And the resultant free kick goes the way of Weirden, who just pumps it long up towards full forward. Pack flies. No Kai player can take advantage of it. Now running through hard there was Allen. He was unable to really extricate the pill from that sort of mess of players. And now a kick comes out wide from Hiscock. Nice fist down there by Sheldon. 2-on-1. They should win this, should Kai. Well defended in the end there by Cox, and the umpire's going to pay a free kick. A little bit of theatrics went on there. And it worked, an absolute treat for Sammy Sheldon. He got himself the free kick. About 60 around from Kai's goal. Too far out to score.
Yes, as Sheldon kicks it to the hot spot. Up they go. It's Brett there that hacks one backwards. It's a bit dangerous. It's rushed through in the end by Stretton. They didn't panic. It was only the commentator who panicked and a rush behind on the board. Now the Bears bring it in quickly to Harry Boyd in right back pocket for the Bears. They lead 22 points to 3, so a 3-goal lead to the Shepparton Bears late into this first term. With thanks to Shepparton Optical, up they fly. No mark taken off the back of the pack there. It's taken by it was Smith who pumps it long inside 50 and a mark for the Kyabram Bombers.
Good mark.
Is the big man there? Is it
Paddy Weirden?
Looks like Weirden again. Had a really big first quarter, but failed to really damage Shepparton at this point in time. This might be his opportunity. Elects to go short instead, and again they just take the seemingly easy option and they miss the most basic of target. That's been touched off the boot, so it's going to have to be play on for the young fella in Ricky's, who gets it up in the Holland direction. He couldn't quite take the mark. Ball right centre wing here in front of the scoreboard at Euroa. The umpire's blown the whistle, and it's going the way of Vic. But they play on and take the advantage now. Weirden with it again. Shorts it now. Mark taken at centre-half forward. Now Edwards, right foot kick. As a matter of fact, it was Norris right up towards the top of the goal square. Oh, Mangan's taken the mark. Umpire didn't pay it. Runs around onto his right and then missed.
No. Geez, look good from here. Look good from here.
It did, Hollywood. It looked very good.
They're starting to win the contested footy, Kai, and they're getting these repeat entries against the wind. Oh, gee, that was too slow there by Wardle, and incorrect disposal is going to mean that Kyle Mueller never gave up the chase and won himself a free kick, and you can't afford to give free kicks like that back to Kyabram. He'll shoot from 35 metres out, almost directly in front.
35's like 50 on a day like today, kicking to the town end, though. So it'll take everything, I would have thought.
Yeah, a bit of a dead eye, this bloke, though.
Yeah, he's pretty smart with his kicks, Mueller.
So Kyle Mueller rolls in. Can he open the account for the Kai Bombers? Prolific goal kicker. Touched off the boot, won't make it. And even if it did, it wasn't going to be a score. He got too close to the man on the mark, trying to get that extra distance. Hiscock and Mattingly have a little bit of push and shove while the kick goes up to the half-back flank for the Bears and out into touch. We'll have a boundary throw-in far side of Memorial Oval here at the 20-minute mark of the first quarter, where the Bears lead it by 19 points. Craig Potter for you on 1FM.
Holland and Norris. Holland to the front of the pack for the Bears, but it's Weirden who gets first purchase on the ball. Tommy Thorson all wrapped up in a tackle, no prior. Umpire says give it to me, and we've been playing just over 20 and a half minutes into this first term. 18 points the margin here. Shepparton up by that margin as we have a stoppage again on half-forward flank for the Bombers.
Love to get another one with the Bears. I mean, hashtag stating the obvious, but honestly, just while they've got this bit of wind here, and I guess Kai's really had control of the last sort of 5 minutes.
Gemmell.
They've been unable to actually get a score on the board. Gemmell tapped it out in front of himself there. Whitford, was he held without it? Going to the ground really hard. There was Orion Kerr, now picked up by Morris, who just fires a goal. Oh, that's such a good job there by Small.
How good.
In front of Mueller.
How good was that?
That is just a fantastic defensive mark, and in the absence of Teddy Linden, that is as good as a Teddy Linden right there now. Brett with it in the back pocket. He goes the high percentage, but he's going in the Lockie Smith direction. Oh, the big body of Tommy Thorson climbed. Not quite sure what he was thinking there. As Smith now just puts it to the hot spot. Mangan works his way to front position. This time the umpire going to pay the... No, he's not going to pay the mark. Gets the handball off to Weirden. Comes back down now. Kick around the body. Ironside. He's missed it. So 5 behinds in the quarter.
Goalless.
To Kyabram. And you're dead right.
Yeah, now
3 goals, 4.
This is a stat for Statsy. The last time Kai goalless in a quarter.
Oh, that I'd have to look up. But, look, I'm wondering if Shep have actually taken enough of their opportunities down the other end, though, with this breeze.
Correct.
Mitch Brett brings it in. Pumping kick out of full back. Kicks it out to the scoreboard side. The pack flies. It's fisted forward. Kerr is there for the Bears. He gets off to Gagliardi, who shows some dash, takes a bounce, then weaves one way and another around half-back. But they've messed it up a little bit, the Bears. There's McGregor's there for them, but he's the only man standing. The Bombers are going to pounce on this, or can they? They do well to force a stoppage. No free kick.
No, that's...
Free kick, and it will go the Bombers' way.
That is soft. Right,
Edwards. He's been...
poleaxed contest, but gee, I tell you what, there could have been another free kick back the other way.
He can roost it.
Certainly can. He looked a little bit proppy there on his right forward as, the contact was coming. Both players really brave there, Gemmell and Hiscock. It was in the contest.
That was really good. Really good from Hiscock, because Gemmell is a man mountain, and I wouldn't want him running full pelt at me, Potsy. He's a big man, old Gemmell.
Yeah, ball.
Deceivingly big.
Yeah. Thrown back in, right forward pocket. Comes down to Childs. Childs' kick lands in no man's territory, but it will allow the player in Ironside to swing around. Shot for goal, top of the square, fisted through as a whistle. There's a whistle, a free kick in front of goal. A free kick to the Bombers, and they will get one on the board. They won't be goalless, I would imagine, after this free kick. The Bombers with a free kick to open their account. Do you make of that, Hollywood?
Just easy touch with.
How and why?
So it's is it Mangan with the free. I'm not too sure who he's awarded it to.
You've got to be spot on with those calls, Potsy, if you're the umpire, because it's a certain, near enough certain goal for Kai. So, just, play on, please.
It was very close to the action. It didn't appear to be.
Actually, no, it is. Yep, it's Mangan.
Yeah. It looked like Mitch Brett was going to take the ball.
It's Mangan who's going to have the kick, but Pettifer's coming off with a little bit of blood there under the blood rule, and Weirden will replace him. Mangan from point-blank range, surely can't miss from here. He's 10 metres out. Umpire calls time back off, and Mangan rolls in. He'll shoot and should make absolutely no mistake, and he kicks the first for the Bombers. And finally, they are away 1-5. They move on to Shepparton's 3-4. They'll trail by 11 points. And all of the attacking in the last sort of 7 minutes of the quarter has been Kyabram. And finally, they get some reward for effort, although that may be a little bit of a soft free kick. So you've got to pay credit to the Shep defence. Have held up fairly well to this point in time, with thanks to GB Ag. Down to the boundary, please, Brandon Riley.
Thanks, J-Dub. And boys, Pettifer with a fair bit of claret coming out of the snoz.
Okay, so hopefully it's nothing too serious. As Holland wins the footy back in the middle of the ground and kicks it straight to Lockie Smith, who was unmanned, just floating across half back.
And 50-50.
Yep. Too sure who was against.
It might be 100 here. Oh, hang on. Confusion.
So is it downfield?
No. How can one umpire say 50 and the other say no?
No, it's a ball up.
No, it's a Shep ball.
No
ball up.
Oh, that is just...
Oh, wow.
Get it together, guys. Honestly, that is hopeless. Picked up by Stratton. Now up towards full forward. Gee, that really upsets me, that does. Goodness gracious me. There goes the siren either way. And that will give us some time to gather our thoughts after the schmozzle of the last 2 minutes here. It's a tough job that they've got, but they'll certainly be having a chat to each other at quarter time to figure out what quite went wrong in that situation right there, as at quarter time here at Memorial Oval at Shep, ladies and gentlemen, leading by 11 points at quarter time.
The free kick that was paid, the 50 metres, so that was actually touched off the boot, but Righty didn't hear the touch call from Monty, so Righty's paid the 50 for the bloke stepping over the mark, not knowing that there's already been paid touch. That's why he kept going to chase the bloke with the ball. So that's why it was brought back as a ball up.
Yep, line up the Benny Hill music.
Absolutely.
Obviously, they're doing
it's actually quite nice.
Great job, but the free kick, Brandon, down at the top of the square. Well, we'll talk about that in a moment as the second quarter gets underway. Hollywood and Craig Potter and the Stats Man here on 1FM Live and Local.
Yes, well, it was Thorson who won the hit out and gave it to Holland. Can you believe that? The Bears do go forward, but it's only as far as Vic in defence for the Bombers, who relieve now. A little kick out there in the direction of Bradley Edwards, but he can't track it down before the boundary line beats him. And we're still at that 11-point margin. The Bears by 11 points, second semi-final, opening minutes of this second quarter. Boundary throw in, centre wing, as Big Holland and Jakey Reeves go at it. Holland wins it down, defensive side, socket off the ground by Thorson, taken out of the air by the Bombers, but this will come back. Hiscock marks, centre wing, pumps a left foot kick, nice and low too into the breeze. I think the breeze may have stopped a little. Nicky Allen gets a little touch there, a tap though, but it's taken by Ironside. Nice play. The Bombers come away with it. They kick with the aid of that breeze down towards half forward. Oh, Hiscock's there again. He relieves for the Bears.
Yeah, he certainly does. And Jonty Wardle there, turn the footy over. Now Edwards has it. He goes back by hand now.
Clever.
Beautiful little step around there by Gamble. Now up towards full forward, over the shoulder.
Absolutely.
And that is there on this occasion. No complaints from J-Dub about that one. Every single day of the week. Kyle Mueller will have another set shot opportunity. I doubt he'll be passing this one off.
No.
45 out. He's kicked 70 goals for the season. Off the top of my head, I'll confirm that for you in just a moment's time. It's, as a matter of fact, it's 66 for the season. My understanding is that it was 70, including the 4 from last week. He's hooked that around the body. So Michael Van Dorser, if you are tuned in, Need a lift out of you, mate. Because I knew that Mueller had kicked
Come on, MVD.
66, and he's played, 70, and he's played 200 games, has Kyle Mueller as well. Can you believe that?
No, I can't, because it's not true.
200 goals.
Oh, sorry.
Kicked 200 for his career.
66 games, he's kicked 200 for his career, sorry.
No, you're right. Mitch Brett brings it in, but the Bombers mark
music?
And it comes back to half forward, taken by the Bears defence. Well done, Jonty Wardle, although Gemmell nicely tapped and chopped off there to take the ball over the line. Right forward pocket for the Bombers, as we have been playing just 2.5 minutes, and it's a 10-point lead to the Shep Bears. That is, of course, on the 40-wing Shepparton scoreboard. Ball comes back into play. Holland, nice tap. Gives it over there. But the Bombers intercept. Comes down to Coolstock. Coolstock misses. I thought it was bending back on the breeze, but he missed just to the near side, behind to Coolstock. And that'll take the Bombers.
They're coming.
12. Inch by inch, Hollywood. Yeah, inch by inch. And you don't have to stem the margin all in one quarter, but they're quite capable.
Yeah. So Thorson now switches it out wide. Going to be tough stretch there, but he was up for it. It was Orion Kerr, who started the game really well, the young fella. Now up to Gagliardi, who just went the fly there, made a really good contest of it, and that's going to be holding the man. No, the umpire doesn't want to pay the free kick there to Pellegrino, who was shoveled into the deck while he didn't have the footy.
I wouldn't want to be taking on Axel Childs.
No, certainly not. As the boundary umpire launches the footy back in. Holland and Reeves at it again. Reeves worked his body under it quite well and then just tapped it down, but no midfielder for Kyabram could take advantage of that great little piece of ruck work there by Reeves. So giving it back to the umpire there, Pellegrino, another reset now. Smash straight down, and it'll go over the line again, directly in front of the commentary position, and nobody gets a better view than this in the house, ladies and gentlemen.
One of the great hairdos, Gagliardi. That is a ripper. The old mullet-style Potsy.
Ball comes spinning back. Oh, Reeves beautifully down to Weirden. Weirden to Childs. Powell it was. He's taken over the line in one of those tackles by Stretton. He's a solid little ball of muscle too, isn't he, Stretton?
Yeah.
All shoulders, as Holland, another decisive tap out. Comes to Weirden, no, that's an illegal to possession, but the umpire didn't see it. Now it comes to Reeves, who does the roving, kicks inside 50. They go up, the free kick for the Bears. Free kick for the Bears, advantage, play on, Jonty Wardle, runs through half-back. Wardle spots Brett. He got nudged under the ball, did Brett. Play on, said the umpire. Does well, shrugs off a tackle.
Over the shoulder.
And a free kick to Snowy Brett on half-back flank, J-Dub.
Gee, Paddy Weirden here just slaps it up in the air with one hand, as clear as daylight. Umpire must have been short-sighted.
Couldn't have seen it.
Not short-sighted, short-sighted. Could not have seen that. No. Not paid that one.
Frustrating.
Look, it is a little bit, but as long as you're consistent. Boyd, long right foot, pumps it up in the Holland direction, comes off hands. Who's going to be the line breaker here? Picked up by Orion Kerr. Handballs to Stretton. Now out wide here. Some run and carry here comes from Matty Ryan. He ran over the line. As a matter of fact, he kicked it off the side of his boot over the line. Out of bounds on the full. So Whitford will be the recipient of the resultant free kick, and he'll just spear one low to Weirden, who's had plenty of it, with thanks to AJ's.
Plenty.
And looks to be a fairly stagnant sort of a forward flank here. Weirden tried to take on the man on the mark and got tackled there. Really good attack on it there by Brett. He forces the stop. That's great. Pressure.
What was he thinking then, Hollywood?
He had absolutely no targets moving up the ground. Completely stagnant, Kyabram were there.
Reeves wins the tap out. Comes down now to Edwards. Edwards pumping ball inside 50. Pettifar, no, fisted away by Brett. It actually might have falconed him. Play on, that's an illegal. That time he saw it, and this is a free kick to the Bears. Now play on, Thorson will have to go back behind his mark. He's at the true centre-half-back position, is Tommy Thorson. And the Bears kicking against the breeze. They lead it by 9 points. 9 points the margin. Kicks to Stretton. It's over his head. So this will come down now to Childs. Childs gets a free kick, a legal tackle. And no, you won't be able to play on there, Axel. Axel, you'll have to roll back. So Childs with the free kick on half forward flank. With the breeze, he's almost within scoring distance.
Top of the square.
So he tops it up, pumps it up, and he kicks it to the hot zone. The big players fly. It was Boyd, taken by Rickies.
They're out.
He comes out with a couple of bounces, do you mind? Oh. Taken and holding the ball.
Oh, he's gave him a bit too, Pettifer on Gagliardi. A bit of an earful.
My apologies, it was Kerr.
Yeah, Gagliardi's just ran smack bang into the brick wall with his cane Pettifer and
bit groggy.
Yeah, hit him straight in the face.
Nothing untoward. Great hit.
Just a great hit. Both players were going straight at it, and Gagliardi's come off just second best there.
Bit sore.
Yeah, but he'll be okay.
Bit of claret.
He's tough, this kid. As maybe just in the mouth or the nose as the long kick comes in. Mangan went the big fly. Did he get his arms chopped? No, said the umpire.
I'll tell you what, full credit to Gagliardi, though, running in full steam into Kane Pettifer, who's a league footballer, ex-league footballer, we know. Big body.
Exactly right. And that's the hardness that's required to make it at the next level. So many raps on this kid, and you can just see on display why.
The Bears now through his cock. Oh, he bites off a very, very dangerous kick. He kicks it straight to Weirden. Dear, oh dear. Inside, deep in the pocket, Hiscock decides to go back to centre-half back, and Weirden has plucked it, picked him off, and will line up for goal. And if you've been listening, there is a breeze heading towards the Seven Creek end here at Memorial Oval, Euroa, and Weirden to line up with that. He's 45 out, but with the aid of the breeze, he puts it onto his left boot. Oh, it's a bit of a helicopter. Do you mind? Did not get great contact with the ball.
The old-fashioned mongrel.
Mongrel it was, and Weirden lets an opportunity go by, and they've still got that lead, the Bears. I would have thought that the Bombers would have eroded it by now, Hollywood, but not to be. So 1 goal 9-15. 1 goal 9-15, Kyabram.
Funny game of footy, this one.
Trailing the Bears now. The kick from the Bears towards Nick Allen on half-back flank. He is paid either the mark or the free kick, I think. Free kick I'll go with, because I don't think it travelled the required 15. And Nick Allen on left half back for the Bears. We've been playing 9.5 minutes, and it's 7 points the margin on the 40 Wing Shepparton scoreboard.
High right foot kick up towards centre wing.
Good mark.
Really good mark taken there by Lockie Smith.
Been good.
I reckon he's been great down back.
Certainly has. 7 points the margin. The Bears still lead, but doing all of the attacking at the moment are the Bombers. Now Weirden again. He's had a lot of the footy in the Mangan direction. Couldn't quite take the mark. Well done down there. Tyler Bell up against the bigger body there.
Gemmell.
And Gemmell picks it up and delivers. Gemmell with the goods right there. And Hayden Gemmell gets goal number 13 for season 2019. And, gee, I tell you what, for all of the good work, as a matter of fact, that's been called a behind.
Turn it up.
Must have hit the pot.
No.
Really?
Or was touched off the boot.
Must have been touched and went right through the middle.
Had to have been touched off the boot. Goodness gracious me.
Well, just having a look at Gemmell.
Had the review in.
Tell you what, he's not happy.
Boys, there's a fair bit of celebration from the Shed Bears in the pocket there, so it had to be touched off the boot.
Yep. Thanks, BR. And thanks to GV Ag.
Wonder where Michael Christian is in the arc here at Memorial Oval. Kick up towards centre half forward. Gemmell again had 2 bites of the cherry. Couldn't quite get the third there. Cole dropped it there. Oh, really good tackle. Hiscock picked up there by Norris and then just pumped, hitting and hoping, and Boyd front position there. I like that move.
Strong as an ox.
Gone back and outmarked Vic. Gee, it's interesting. They're just sort of throwing the magnets around a little bit with Vic going forward and Boyd just following him down there, but it's been quite good so far in Shepparton's favour. Now Axel Childs waxes on out wide there with Weirden again, who's just involved in absolutely everything. Now disses it back in board.
Took him on.
And Norris had no prior opportunity, Hollywood. And he'll be all tied up. Umpire crosses his arm, says I'll have it, and we'll ball it up. Far centre wing.
Fair to say, not the greatest football being played at the moment, Potsy.
No, but there's a lot at stake, Hollywood. A grand final at stake as the ball gets taken up towards half forward. Mattingly slung in a tackle. Play on, said the umpire. Hard against the boundary line. The boundary umpire has signalled out of bounds, I guess, in a fashion. He wasn't really decisive. No, it's actually a ball up. So a ball up, left half forward for the Shepparton side. Up goes Norris. He can't win it down. Weirden's there. He's been everywhere.
Oh, hasn't he?
Hand pass is shovelled out by that player, but it's chopped off, and it's chopped off by the Bears. A kick inside 50. It's a chaos ball. Bell's there. Brett's there, I should say.
Sheldon.
Hand pass over the top. Sheldon could be holding the ball. The Bombers know.
Dived on it.
Gee, he did drag it in, and it'll be a ball up just 30 metres from goal for the Shepparton side, and they're looking to kick their fourth. They've kicked 3-4 so far. Big fist by Holland. Stretton can run onto it. Oh,
On the line. No goal.
No, it's
tapped it back in.
He kicked it right into the back of Tommy Sheldon.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it was because he was flying across there like one of the greatest goalkeepers you will ever see. What a beautiful save that was by Sheldon, and then just thumps it long inside 50. Good use of the hands there. Mangan dishes it off now. Mattingly running through the middle of Memorial Oval. Very quick inside 50 here. Gemmell was the target. Really good defence again by Shepparton. This time Mitch Brett out wide towards Wardle. Wardle now asks for players to come present something. He elects to bite off a real lot with that IG, and the young fella in the middle of the ground's just been absolutely cleaned up by Axel Childs.
Pellegrino.
And it was free. Yeah, Pellegrino out of bounds here. Big fly there from Mueller, nothing doing.
Very winded, I think.
Yeah, he was just set up. That was a poor option there by Wardle. Just a hospital ball.
Holding his ankle.
Young kid.
Yes.
He just got smashed by two Kai players. Axel Childs is right involved in that.
Mangan won the tap out, in fact. Here's Pettifer. Hand passes back to that player, and Mangan stops, props, has a shot, but Boyd's there. Gee, they're holding up well in defence, the Bears.
Yeah.
And Boyd marks in the last line of defence. They lead by 7 points, the Bears. As
Pellegrino's there. I think a stretcher's coming out of the
a
balls.
whistle for the young fella in Pellegrino, we think it is. And centre wing, he looked to clutch his ankle first, didn't he, Hollywood?
Yeah.
But now he seems to be
he's on his back.
on his back in a spot of bother. So the umpire has stopped. BR down on the boundary for GV Ag.
Yeah, spot on, boys. Definitely Pellegrino out there in the middle.
Thanks, mate. And just while this break, they've got a good connection at the moment, the Bears' defence. Wardle, Hiscock, Tyler Bell. There's a few of them that are connecting really well, and that Magpie out there is connecting well also.
Yeah, they've just got to be smarter with their ball use when they're coming off that half-back flank. That there by Wardle was not the greatest decision to kick it back inboard so dangerously, take on the corridor in a 2-on-1 situation where you've got, Pell and Childs running flat out at a kid who's played, this is his 6th senior game.
And the ball is going to hold up in the breeze, kicking against it. So
just an absolute hospital ball, that one.
No stretcher.
I'm not sure that we'll see this young kid again today. Although it doesn't look to be a majorly serious sort of injury. He's back to his feet here as the crowd around Memorial Oval give a little bit of a cheer for the young fella. He's back up and about, and I think he might have just actually spent a little bit of time out asleep.
it must have been serious enough for them to stop it because he's walking off. But yeah, that's good to see him on his feet, though. Absolutely.
And just for hashtag gamble responsibly, all of the punters out there, Red Zell. Why would you ever back against it?
Did it win, did it?
And it won.
Good stuff. Yeah.
For those that are interested in the races, while we have this little bit of a break here, and Nature Strip didn't run a drum. It was one of the raging hot favourites of the day at Randwick.
Red Zell, eh?
Old Red Zell. You wouldn't mind being a shareholder in it, would you?
Yeah.
It would have collected some prize money. Unbelievable.
Pellegrino off.
Thoroughbred country here.
Bit of claret.
Of course,
I lost a couple of teeth.
Hayes
got the mouth guard.
Yeah, Hayes Dabernig family. So closely associated with this football club here. JD and Will, both players at Euroa. Will now, of course, in the VFL at the Western Bulldogs and has played a couple of games for the Dogs this year. Best of luck to them against the GWS. We're back underway here. And free kicks going the way to Shepparton. It looks like it might be young Ricky's who has the footy on the halfback flank. That's a smarter kick, just high and long. And the high percentage play there. That's a nice little chip past the middle of the ground from Matty Ryan to Jordan Cox, who just kicks it loose now. Joel Snowy Brett, the race is on here. Comes off his foot, and does it go out of bounds on the full? Just puffed up a little dust of the boundary. Inside the forward pocket for the Bears. They lead this by 7 points, and we've played nearly 20 minutes. Very low scoring game this. Kyabram 1 goal, 10. Can you believe that? Well done, Stretton there, wins the hard footy. Handballed it to no one in particular. Oh, gee, Morris, who was tied up in a tackle, just got boot to ball there. Now Matty Ryan comes and meets it. Coolstock wanted it more, though, and he is just under siege by a pack of hungry Bears. And he's going absolutely nowhere, had no prior opportunity. Good pressure continues to come. And all of the pressure's on Kyabram, isn't it? Mm-hmm. They have got nothing to lose here.
Absolutely. The arrogance of youth. We talked about the possibility of having nothing to lose, and they are playing like that at the moment. It's only 7 points, but it is low scoring. Yeah. And no one would have really predicted them to be in this spot at half-time. And we've been playing 18 and a half minutes. And on the 40 Wing Shepparton scoreboard, they lead it by 7 points. So the ball's back into play. A pack of players underneath it. Pretty desperate, dire stuff. It's not pretty. I dare say no one in the Shepparton camp will care how pretty it looks, Hollywood, as long as they continue to win each contest.
Exactly right. One
at a time. So up they go. Norris wins this one down, but it's hacked out of the air by the Bears towards the boundary line. It'll go spill over again for another throw-in. And, of course, over there near the newly unveiled, we've seen it this year, the Dick O'Brien scoreboard, fellas.
Yep.
We saw that earlier in the season. Great player, great character of synonymous with the Euroa Footy Club.
Boundary umpire launches it back in now. Holland tapped it down, picked up by Mattingly, who slaps it down in a weird direction at centre half forward now. Mitch Brett tries to pick it up, just taps it in front of Bell. He's unable to cleanly possess. Umpire comes in once again, says I'll have it, and we'll ball it up at centre half forward for Kyabram. We've played almost 20 minutes into the second quarter with thanks to 40 Wing Shepparton. Haven't had a great deal of mentions in this quarter due to it being so low scoring. We'll get to in a moment. Brandon Riley down on the boundary. Really scrappy sort of football at the moment. Coolstock got it back to Childs. One way, back the other went Sheldon. Then he got onto his right foot, kicked it Boyd, right place, right time again. He read it extremely well. Oh, gee, his handball, though, was too hot for Small, who copped one in the chops for his trouble. The ball sits on the deck. The umpire comes in, players on top of it, ball up, Brandon Riley.
Yeah, Harry Boyd just playing a real good role for his team down back.
Yeah, Pellegrino, boys, just getting his finger checked here. He should be right to come back out. Just got a bit of tingling sensation in it.
His finger?
Yeah, in the end, just his finger. Reckons he went across the cheek as well. So, yeah, they'll just running through a couple of quick tests and expect to see him back out here hopefully very soon.
I just don't think that if that's the extent of the injury, it deserved a stoppage in play. But anyway, play goes on. Hurried kick from the stoppage. Might have been marked at full forward. It was.
Yep, Mangan.
Mangan came out.
No, it's not. Gemmell. Geez, that redheads.
Barely travelled the required 15, Hollywood, but it'll be Gemmell. Now, keep an eye on the touched off the boot here, fellas, because Gemmell will watch it closely also as he lines up for goal only 20 metres out on a 45-degree angle. And this at the 21-minute mark of the second term will be one to get the Bombers within a point. So he kicks and he's caressed it through nicely. So the Bombers trail by 1 point, and that's his first goal of the afternoon.
Second.
No, first. Well, the other one was scrubbed.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
1 goal,
Thank
1.
you. Yes,
Head
that's
through it.
right.
It's the second ball he's kicked between the sticks, but it's his first goal.
One goal was
He's
a
one
waste.
goal, one on the
goal was one
afternoon.
good.
And
Yes.
first goal for the quarter, and it came up at the 21-minute mark of this term, the second term.
And on the 40-wing Shepparton scoreboard, 2:10:22, Kyabram trails the Bears 3-5-23. 1 point the difference, 12 scoring shots to 8. Ball back in the centre, J-Dub.
It certainly is, and Stretton won the hard one out of the middle. He quickly gets it inside 50, and backing back and taking a really good mark there was Tommy Sheldon. Oh, he's the sort of bloke that you want with his hands on the footy, sending it forward. That's exactly what he did in the Mangan direction, who just overran the football, picked up by Mueller, dangerous one inside 50, attacked it just a little bit hard there, did Hiscock. Now Gemmell again on all fours. Now Morris looks for an option, can't find one, can't control it. Hiscock might have got one high. Umpire left the whistle in the pocket. Now Gemmell has a look around to the hot spot. Oh, gee, that's going to be a free kick here.
Free kick,
and it's going to go the way of Kyabram. And this is going to be another goal given away by Shepparton due to a free kick in the goal square to Kyabram. So two of their 3 goals, can you believe, up until half-time, which is where we nearly are here. This will give Kai back the lead. It's Mueller. He's 15 out, strolls in, should make no mistake, and Kyabram get 2 on the bounce within 3 minutes, and in the blink of an eye, Kyabram hit the front here as we head towards half-time at Memorial Oval. But yeah, just a silly free kick to give away there, and well, that's the way that they've had to score their goals. Really unlike what we thought we might see this afternoon, Hollywood.
They just don't let up, Kyabram, and they may just be now getting rewarded with their effort, but from the get-go, they haven't been out of the contest, so to speak. They're getting up forward, they're making the Bears earn their kicks, and now they hit the front. Only 6 goals in this first half of footy between the sides approaching half-time. Quite remarkable.
So ball back in the middle of the ground, smashed down almost Groundhog Day there by Holland, straight to Stretton, who pumps it long inside 50. This time it's Tommy Boyd. Hasn't had a touch yet today. Kick around the body, too easy there, Kyabram. They'll have an easy exit from their defensive area through Whitford, who chopped off a bit with his kick there. Well done there to Thorson just to get a hand on it. But they've got the experience there through Sam Sheldon, who kicks an absolute shocker. Pettifer quickly arrives on the scene to land a really strong tackle. Other side of the ground. As a matter of fact, it was may have been Whitford, and umpire balls it up. Goes towards centre-half forward, socket off the deck now. Now it runs into a little bit of space. Gagliardi's got the foot speed here. Has he got the skill to pick it up? Has he got the balance? Has he got the class? He's missed it to the far side.
Good close down by the Bombers defender there.
Certainly was.
Vic.
Yep. No, Vic was on the scene late there, but might have been the Ironside who actually chased him down.
So ball goes down, half forward, Hiscock marks it on half-back flank for the Bears. I reckon the game's just started, fellas. I don't know about you, but it feels like it's just started. The kick Gagliardi marks inside the centre square. We've been playing 25 minutes, so deep into time on. Can they get a late goal? Tackled. Holding the ball, surely he just got a hand pass off. Comes down to Hiscock. Hiscock finds an unmarked player. It's McGregor. So McGregor will chip inside now, and he finds Thorson. So Thorson now to line up for goal, and this to give the Bears a 2-point lead at half-time. I dare say there won't be any time for another shot on goal after this one.
No, it's been a very low-scoring quarter, and this is what Tommy Thorson's in the side to do.
Yep.
He's in the side to kick goals. This is a moment. This is one of these opportunities. It's going to be after the siren to give the Bears the lead. And a lot of momentum heading into half-time, and maybe, just maybe, a bit of belief that that miracle here on a Saturday afternoon could happen as Tommy Thorson rolls in. The right foot is an absolute mung. And it goes through for a behind, but only just. And that will be all she wrote, as there's an umpire's whistle, shortly not a free kick. Is there a free kick being given here? No, the umpires are just coming in to have a little bit of a chat to some players that started doing a bit of a barnyard waltz down there. So that will be half-time with thanks to 40 Winks Shepparton, ladies and gentlemen. It's a 3-point margin the way of Kai. They haven't done it easy, though. Just quickly before we do go to our major break here, where it is Kai leading by 3 points. We'll get down with thanks to GV Ag, ladies and gentlemen, to Brandon Riley.
Yeah, boys, Pellegrino's been ruled out with a concussion. He has failed the concussion test, and not a good sign. Come off the ground and went downhill, and yeah, no good. Cannot answer the questions too well.
Not a finger.
No. Finger come up all right. The tingling sensation's gone, that's fine. But, yeah, that knock that he reckons he copped to the jaw has, yeah, certainly gone through a bit further and, yeah, gone through with a concussion.
OK, thank you very much. We'll now get to half-time here. 3 points the difference. Shep now down one rotation, but they can continue to dare to dream and believe that this second half, maybe, just maybe, the miracle on this Saturday afternoon for the Shep Footy Club.
Straight into our forward line so we can get plenty of shots in this third quarter. And Kai talked about just lifting the intensity, boys.
Craig Potter for you live right now on 1FM.
OK, it was Norris who won the tap out for the Bombers, but it was quickly taken to ground and gobbled up. So we'll have a secondary stoppage in the centre of Memorial Oval, where it is getting dark here, to say the least.
Thanks to the GMC score update. Giants will have a 10-point lead over the Dogs.
Right.
In the
good
elimination final.
Good contest that will be. Not one-way traffic like some may have called, but early days, no doubt. Ball's back up in the centre now. That's Norris. Wins the tap. Roves his own ruck work and gets a quick kick out of the centre. Leading in the chase there is Brett. He sockers it towards the boundary. Pennifer's on his hammer. He runs right past him. Pennifer takes the ball, tries to give it to Mattingly, but taken over the line for a boundary throw-in. Right half-forward flank for the Kyabram Bombers. We've been playing just 1 minute into this third term, and on the Goulburn Murray Credit Union scoreboard, 3-point lead to the Shep Bears. Here's Mattingly from that boundary throw-in. He kicks a centering ball towards full forward. The two Bears spoiled each other, and Gemmell kicks the goal. Well, the two Bears spoilt each other in the square, and Nathan Gemmell kicks his second. No yap, as said Hollywood, and exactly right. And the Bombers hit the front for the first time today.
And a bit of stuff coming from the, or is that the, no, it's raining, so I think, isn't it? It's starting to rain.
Yeah, it's raining.
My eyes?
Yeah, it's rain.
They increased their lead by 9 points.
Where are you, B.O.?
Correct, thank you very much.
No problem.
Can't you get in
there?
No, there's two already in there. Three of us ain't going to fit. Let's be real.
Yes, and massive news breaking in terms of the game tomorrow. The call team, we've had an omission.
Massive.
Due to
you blokes will be right. Don't
discrepancy at half-time there. Hollywood out, omitted.
Laid out.
Picked up there by Axel Childs now. He kicks it out to the centre wing. This is when it really gets hard and tough for the Shep Footy Club. How much do you want it? Weirden now pumps it long inside 50. This is the guy that we all know and love right now. And Kyle Mueller takes the simplest of marks in the teeming down rain here. Just a shower crossing the ground, and now the cream is really rising to the top, and this to put Kai out to a 15-point lead, and we've only travelled about 5 minutes into the third term. Mueller rolls in and shanks it off to the left-hand side. Very un-Mueller-like that.
Very. Bit wet.
Yeah, just a bit greasy, a bit slippery, so we'll let him off the hook there. And, well, Kai have let Shep off the hook. They need a response here. Yeah. They just need a response. Those 3 goals came in the first quarter, don't forget.
Yes.
They're yet
early too.
That's right. They have not kicked a goal for over a quarter. They need something to happen, and it can happen with damaging kicks like this from Brett right up the middle. Oh, gee, a hard tackle there on Cox. Did he have the football? The umpire said he did. He went again, though, picked up. Oh, really well done there by Weirden. Now, Coolstock tied up in a hard tackle. Drops it. Umpire will ball it up. Kyle Hollywood Power.
Tell you, one bloke that has had zero impact is Tom Boyd for the Shep Footy Club.
One disposal with thanks to AJ's. Centre
VFL.
Picked up there by Smith now. Here's an opportunity. Joel Snowy Brett to an open goal square. Which way will it bounce? It'll bounce over to the left and it'll go through for a behind. Thanks to GV Ag. Down to you, please, Brandon Riley.
Yeah, boys, keep an eye on Tommy Thorson here for the Shep Bears, getting that right hamstring rubbed out. First game back in about 4 weeks.
Did see that come off, said straight away, hamstring to the trainer. That's a good pickup, BR.
Bombers kick it back out from full-back. Big pack flies. A few of them could claim the mark, but the umpire was going to give neither of them the honour, and he says, I'll ball it up, give it to me, fellas. And ball up, left half forward for the Bears. They trail it by 9 points, in desperate need of a goal. No goals in the second. Here's Nick Allen. Quick little hurry, kick inside 50. McGregor set himself, but going back is Lockie Smith. And he marks at centre half back.
Brilliant today.
He has indeed. Left foot kick, kicks it out in the cool stock direction. Nearly a mark or a push in the back. Take your pick. But they play it on through Sheldon. Sheldon gives it now to Mattingly. Mattingly looks for Edwards. Edwards crunched in a tackle. Great tackle, but they get it back through Sheldon again. Inside 50. Free kick. Bombers. It'll have to be a free kick, the Bombers, because he threw him out of the contest, and I'm talking about Kyle Mueller was thrown out of the contest before the ball had arrived, and it was against Stretton.
He's not happy, the Shep supporters.
Wow, it's pretty clear cut
here on the bench.
Pretty clear cut from where I saw it, Hollywood. The ball was still a good 15 metres away in the air. Here's Mueller, comes in. Can he kick one this time? Left foot kick. No, won't make the distance. Big Holland's there in the square. He nullifies it. But there's Norris waiting front and centre. Smothered. Kerr underneath it. Showed courage. And Kerr kicks them out of trouble. Looking for Boyd. He can't mark it. Takes it to ground. It's overrun there by Rickies. Now the Bombers back in. Hand pass across. Here's Pettifer. Kicks to the hot spot. Big mark needed. It taken. And it's taken right in front of goal by the big man there. Mangan, who protected the drop zone and marked 15 metres out directly in front.
That's a strong mark from Mangan, and he does that week in, week out. That's how this is the position where he gets the majority of his goals, because he's so strong in that contested area. Very good player.
So this to be a fifth goal for the Bombers to take the margin out to 15 points. And Mangan comes in. He has kicked just the 1-2 this afternoon. This to make it 2-2. Puts it on his boot. Umpire likes it. Crowd likes it. And it's his second goal and a 15-point lead to the Bombers. Well,
yeah, big moment there for Mangan.
Last week as well, particularly in the second half. He kicked three goals in that final quarter, and he's just been absolutely awesome, both up forward and rucking today.
Yeah, that experience for Kai is starting to come now, isn't it, really? Shep, as we said, haven't scored a goal since the first quarter. I reckon the 10-minute mark of the first quarter. The last goal they've kicked.
Yeah, 7 minute 19 seconds I made it.
Yep. Wow. That is a long time.
First quarter, of course.
They need something here to happen. They really do. Kai really starting to get on top here. Out to a 15-point lead. Was it dropped in the middle of the ground? No. Boyd put his body on the line, as did Norris, and won the footy. He kicked it now up towards Mangan again. He takes it really beautifully on the half volley. Handball back from Gemmell. Gemmell now has some time to pop it up towards Mueller, who takes a mark.
I can smell blood now, Kai.
They certainly can, and they are going in for the kill. And heads are dropping now for the Shep Footy Club. Such an amazing job in the first half to be within 3 points of them, and just all one-way traffic so far in this second half. We've only played nearly 10 minutes. Mueller, his goal kicking hasn't been on today, and he's missed again.
Despite the car horns around the boundary.
I had a look at him. He was certain it was a goal.
Yep. One of those ones where you just sort of look back and shake your head. It looked to be through, but he's... how many set shots has Mueller actually missed today? He's kicked 1-4, has he?
I've got him for 1-2.
Yeah, I've got him for 1-2, and he had 4-4 last week in the qualifying final.
As now Weirden wins it, ducks around, and then improves his position, boots it up towards almost full forward there. Now, held without it. There was Mueller, and the umpire didn't see it. Picked up by Cox. Gets a handball now. Allen ragdolled off it. up towards Brett. Couldn't quite take the mark now. Hot footy, middle of the ground. Picked up by Ironside. Well done there, Morris. Oh, even better there by Allen to just will himself back into the contest. That there's absolutely nobody forward for Shepparton here. So Tommy Sheldon now has it, and he can give a little bit of a reprieve here to Kyabram with a beautiful pass up in the cool stock direction. He takes the mark out to Weirden. Weirden by hands now to Morris. Morris rolls into 50. He fires. He misses.
Well done. Last line on defence. Noticing that Shep have Ash Holland. He's playing as a forward. Snowy Brett's got to get more involved. I know he's been a little bit quiet. Ball hasn't been down that end as much, but they're starting to get overworked, the forwards of the Shep footy club.
This is
like
good.
the defence.
Straight through half back. So they go the short way home, but there's Lockie Smith, and he marks on centre wing for the Kai Bombers. So repelling it now, Kyabram, looking dangerous. And here is Ironside. Ironside decides to square the ball, and he goes back into the centre of Memorial Oval. He finds a Whitford. Whitford goes out wide and backwards. So they've given some territory up, and it goes back to Tom Sheldon, who relieves. Left foot stabbing pass out there in the Morris direction, and he marks. Morris now, nice low pass, and he hits Pettifer. Long way from home.
Bit easy, this.
It's looking like a drill at the moment. I tell you, Kyle, they're going to pay for slow starts, though, Kyabram, at some stage. Yep. They are going to pay for slow starts. Now, here they go, inside 50. A couple of hand passes there, all wrapped up. Good tackle, holding the ball, maybe. Stretton with the tackle, and the Bears to get out of trouble.
Solid little player, this bloke. Has a real crack.
Like the way he goes about it.
Yep.
Stretton always gives you 110%. And on that occasion, saving the forward thrust of the Bombers as he kicks a low ball, goes in the Holland direction. On the half volley, he could do not much more than take it to ground. And I beg your pardon, it wasn't Holland. A bit short for Holland.
Wardle, I think.
Wardle, and ball up. So 55 metres out from goal. There's Stretton again, defensive side of that contest. But the ball goes to ground, and a pack of players force another stoppage.
Or Stretton.
11 minutes into this third term, so it's a 17-point margin.
They're still not out of reach for the Shep Footy Club, but they need to generate something, just something now in the Holland direction. He couldn't take the mark and looked to be legged there, but it was picked up by Childs, who now handballs it back in the middle. Oh, blind little spin there by Ryan Kerr, who's really starting to open some eyes in terms of his currency as a senior footballer, the young fella. Ball up, centre half forward. Now Boyd. Now I'm starting to wonder whether or not Thomas Boyd's actually out on the ground at all. Literally have not seen him. Oh gee, really smart use of the body there. Gemmell around the corner, hits the post. You might want to check on that for us, because if my eyes aren't.
I reckon he is.
He is out on the ground.
I reckon I did see him.
Oh, yep. Sorry, I have.
He's out the far side, isn't he?
Yep, no, he is out there.
He's had zero impact.
He's
Brett.
a player that there's certainly some upside from. Sorry, Potsy.
You're right. Mitch Brett brings it in. Holland was the target, but he missed. Comes out towards the scoreboard there. Quick hurried kick by that player in Thorson along the ground. They take it towards the boundary line. Hiscock, a whistle blow. Free kick to Gagliardi out on the centre wing. He'll play on quickly, as is the Jaden Gagliardi way. Comes to Ricky's. Oh, he's run down in the tackle. Bombers back out of trouble.
Bit of a Freudian slip there. The kick goes out wide, and well done there, Jack Wilson. Just almost frightened Lockie Smith out of that. But yeah, there's still no need for Shep to panic. Well, they're within arm's reach of Kyabram. On that occasion there, Gagliardi's just sort of streamed away. But why wouldn't you move Tommy Boyd down forward? Like, get some height down forward.
Correct.
Unbelievable.
Pick 22 for the year, Tom Boyd.
Exactly right. Like, move someone down forward. Every time the ball goes inside 50 for Shep, there's just no one home. Like, literally not a player inside 50 for them at the moment. You're not going to kick goals when there's nobody there to collect it when the ball does go forward. Picked up by Weirden there. He's best on ground for mine so far on this afternoon. Well done there, Pettifer. tight pocket out wide there. Gemmell runs it over the line.
He's really enjoying not having to tag this afternoon, isn't he, Kyle? Patrick Weirden.
Yeah. Thanks to the GMCU score update quarter time. Giants, Dogs. Giants lead by 11 points.
Yep, they'll capitulate.
As Holland gets a scrubby kick from the ruck contest out towards Stretton. Ricky's is there, his target, but taken over the line with a smother of that hand pass, and we'll have it thrown in. Confident about the Doggies, are you, J-Dub?
Well, you know, I mean, the GWS have had a fair run of it in the first quarter, with thanks to GVL.
Yeah.
Andy, you please.
Mate, just quickly, Rochi won the 15s netball, Echuca won the 17s. That's the first semi. Bears won B-Res, Euroa won B-grade, and just before Seymour were up by 1 goal over Echuca.
Yep, that's in the A grade. Winner to go into the grand final. Big fist there from Matty Ryan. Brings the ball to deck now. Chased out there by Ironside, who then has a shot on goal.
There's the tether.
Really skillful. He's kicked it out of bounds, and it looks as though it might be on the full. And Mitch Brett, they just, even when they look like going forward, though, there's just...
Inside 50s will be quite one-sided stats, man.
Thanks to AJ's. We'll
This
get that
quarter?
in a moment,
Okay.
yes.
In the game.
And Gagliardi takes a good mark. He's coming into almost being one of the best players on the ground for the Shep Footy Club now. Jonty Wardle. Here we are in this situation again, although this time I think it might be Wilson who got out the back. Now this is a little bit more positive, deeper entry now. It runs. Will run all the way, and it does! A 65-metre Hail Mary, and that goes through. And I'm pretty sure...
McGregor, I think...
No. It's not. Surely it's not McGregor.
Yeah,
Yep.
so we got him.
We certainly do. We'll get you.
We got you. And what a goal it was. And
I called it Wilson at first. He will turn around, and
Wilson.
I was correct.
Jack Wilson,
Jeez, what a...
his second goal of the afternoon.
And that's the sort of moments that can potentially... You talk about these micro wins.
Yeah.
I like that. And I'll tell you what, that was a micro win there for the Bears. They are back to within 12 points, Potsy.
Yeah, 12 points the margin, and that is on the Marupna Golf Club scoreboard as the ball's back in the centre. And, yes, that was much needed by the Bears.
They're outs, Potsy. Just have a look. Ted Linden down there.
Yeah, watching on the injured players as Mattingly gets the ball on centre wing. The kick inside 50 in the Mueller direction. Over the back, Brett has the run of it. Now Pettifus on his tail. Doesn't worry Brett, though. Mitch Brett kicks around the corner, looking for and finding Boyd.
Yeah, well done.
Well done on the second bite. Boyd goes down the line looking for Holland or Jonty Wardle. They both fly. Comes to ground now. Cox goes in hard. So does Childs. The Bombers with the ball. Childs over the top now.
Lachlan Smith hurt. Boys, keep an update on.
Reeves a kick inside 50. They overrun it. But here's Coolstock. Coolstock can have a shot at goal. And marked on the line by Gemmell. And Gemmell kicks the goal. And kicks his third for the afternoon. Hayden Gemmell. And tough ball to win that one on centre wing. Bombers came up with it and get it back out to a 15-pointer.
Talk about big game players. Hayden Gemmell's one of those. He just seems to step up every time there's a big occasion on. 3 today, just doing the job, doing his role, playing his role for the team. Just what it is to get the ball to ground, and he mops up with his silky skills. He's a talented player, has been for some time now. They're kicking away the Bombers. They need another one now, the Bears.
18 points the margin on the Marupna Golf Club scoreboard. The Bombers lead at 6 goals, 14-50. Shepparton Bears 4-8-32. So keeping them at arm's length, the Bombers, with that replying goal. Here's Kerr. He's been good for the Bears, and he gets a push in the back as a result of his endeavour in the centre of Memorial Oval. So Orion Kerr kicks down the line, but it's chopped off by Childs.
Good.
He has been good. So Axel Childs for Kyabram, and umpire holds up play. Now they're going to have a conference here again. We've seen this before, haven't we?
No, it might have just been talking to the runner to get out of the way there, I think.
Good. I got a bit nervous there, J-Dub.
Yeah, you had every right to.
They found a peg in the ground, boys. Can you believe it? Just looking at the runner, there's a peg, a tent peg in the ground.
Wow.
Statsman did get here. Stats was early here, so I don't know whether he maybe came over last night.
And Gemmell again takes a mark in the pocket. That was just a little bit too easy there for Kyabram.
Yeah, I wear tents. I don't sleep in them.
And just now it gets out to that 4-goal range. If Gemmell can convert here for his 4th, and maybe they just creep their way so much closer to redemption here to Kyabram. Gemmell makes no mistake and delivers. Gemmell has 4 on the afternoon. And, well, you talk about the big game player.
Yep.
And Hayden Gemmell only had 12 goals coming into this game this afternoon for the home and away season. We'll get it updated by Michael Van Dorsen during the week to include finals. But 4 goals on the afternoon's a really solid return for Gemmell, Hollywood.
Yeah, should have been 5.
We thought he had 5, didn't we, at one stage?
Yeah.
Well, it was the best point you'll ever see in your life.
Ball back in the centre now, so it's out to that 4-goal margin now. Be a game high, get stats to check on that.
It is a game high, boys.
As Dylan gets the quick kick out of the centre for the Bombers. Oh, nice mark taken there. Was by Pell. Pell's right foot penetrating ball will go inside. 50! Mueller just drops the mark at the last minute. So this race is on now. The soccer out to the boundary by Hiscock and taken over the line by Cox. Yeah, I thought he had the sticky hands around that one, Mueller. And boundary throw in now is the result.
Just on that AJ 50 stat for the 3rd term, Kyabram 11, Shepparton 5.
Thanks, Statsman. As the ball about to be brought back in, we've been playing 20 minutes. It's a 24-point margin in favour of the Bombers. The overrunning it there was the Bombers player. Hiscock does the same. Pack of players, big scrum around the ball. And we will ball it up. Umpire says, give it to me. And 4 goals the margin now, team. It needs a couple of goals, or at least one before three-quarter time for the Bears to really have any realistic chance to peg it back. And with this type of play too, J-Dub, lots of stoppages, it's getting less and less likely that the Bears can pull off that miraculous win. AJ's?
Thanks to GFCU. 13-point lead to the Giants. 3-7-25. The Dogs 2-0-12.
Mattingly streams out. Beautiful pass. Guess who? Hayden Gemmell again. He's officially off the chain.
Yeah,
he really
time.
is. And this will push it out to 5 goals. And it's getting more out to the sort of territory that we were expecting. Just a lot cleaner with the ball, and all of a sudden the dam wall has broken. The Shep Footy Club only able to manage 1 goal so far since the 7-minute mark of the first term, when they'd kicked 3 in those 7 minutes. Oh, well done there. That's got to be paid there to Boyd. Brave. Floated across, got a little bit of a tag around the ear. And he'll have it almost full back. Pumps it high and long.
Boyd.
Out towards Harry Boyd. From behind there, Norris. Really well done. And the umpire hasn't paid the man in front the mark there. That's upsetting. Stretton, right place, right time. Ends up with it. Now the umpire's caught in a play on here. 3-on-2 situation. Kai have got the numbers. Lockie Smith is back up and about. Great to see. Ryan Kerr around the body. Kicks a little chaos ball. Jaden Gagliardi's there. He's got Sam Sheldon though. He's tied up in a tackle. Just got a fist to it.
Well,
here's Shepparton's opportunity. They've got to do something from here as Pell wins it back for Kai. Big fist over the top. High percentage and well done there. Yep. The big spoil came from Boyd.
I reckon he's been one of their best, if not the best, Harry Boyd, today.
Yep.
I reckon he's had a real crack.
I thought you was talking about Tom Boyd.
Yeah.
Was going to say, okay, interesting. No, it was Harry, because Tom's had a very quiet afternoon, but Harry, yeah, he's been sensational.
Yeah, he is again.
As he picks it up, now up towards the half-forward flank there. Joel Snowbrett's held on to. Got to be a free kick, Potsy. Got to be a free kick.
Must move.
I certainly do. As they've got some tall timber down really deep there in Wilson, and also Holland over the top. Which way will it bounce? Socket through the rush behind by Sammy Sheldon. And an opportunity goes really, really begging there for Shep. They cannot afford to allow Kyabram another scoring opportunity here. They've just got to shut up shop if they potentially can and get a goal themselves.
Sheldon's big long left foot comes out from full back, pumps it to some 70 metres from goal. Pettifer leading in the race for the ball, but the boundary line beats them. So we'll have a throw in. Half-back flank, we've been playing 23 and a half minutes into this third term. Ripner Golf Club scoreboard. It's a 23-point lead to the Kyabram Bombers. The undefeated Kyabram Bombers. Gagliardi from the stoppage. Well held. Comes to ground. The Bombers have the numbers there. They are able to overrun it but still get it back. Here's Weirden. Gee, he's knocked up getting positions today. Weirden taps it over the top there. Centre wing. Kick comes into the Mangan direction over his head and dribbling over the line. But advancing their cause, the Bombers, by some 50 or so metres. A boundary throw in. Left half forward flank. 24 minutes gone.
Yep. They need to conjure something up here to keep the miracle dream alive to the Shep Footy Club. Well done, Rickies. Up to centre wing. Couldn't quite hold on to it, Norris, so drops down to Jack Sheldon, smothered by Gagliardi, and then he gathers his own smother and loses it, went without it. Sammy Sheldon picks it up, he coughs it straight back up. That must have been touched to Ryan Kerr now, off the half-back flank. Joel Snowy, Brett had eyes only for the footy. The running back bravely there was Axel Childs, and he just put the smother on to allow Tommy Sheldon to chip it out wide to Mattingly. Are we looking at the Morrison medalist right here? He has had some type of a season, and he just shows us right now why he's touted as an absolute Rolls Royce in this competition. Back towards now Smith, who goes long with that signature leg of his, gets it to Weirden. Weirden now just hacks one inside 50 front position. Well done there. The young fella in small picked up there, and a kick out by the right foot to Rickies. He's going to be tackled hard over the line, and we'll have a boundary throw. No, the umpire said that it was holding the footy. Wow, that was red hot. As the kick now, sorry, Potsy, I was going to give it back to you, but then I just had to hold on to it as Weird and picks it up nonchalantly, just has a ping at the stumps and misses.
Plenty of time.
He has had heaps of the footy, and it goes through for a minor score, and Shepparton just get let off there. Yeah, the heartbeat is there, but it is ever so slowly just fading away for the Bears as Kai really start to take a stranglehold on this game.
I'll tell you what, Weirden's looking like the BOG, Jason's pest control BOG, of course.
So back out to 24 points. We've been playing 26 minutes, and the Bears bring it back into play. Young Rickies spots up teammate there in Bell. Bell goes back on half-back flank. Taking their time. Can't be much time left in the third quarter.
No.
Bell's kick is a nice little neat one to Wardle. So Wardle marks. Not a lot of movement though. And now he plays on. Runs off his mark and goes laterally. Finds Brett out wide. He'll have the overlap there if he wants in Yenko, but he decides to go the second option to McGregor. McGregor takes it on a bounce, and then he kicks inside 50, but it wasn't the best of kicks. Norris chops it off for the Bombers. There's still a hotly contested ball inside 50. Nick Allen's there. He dodges one way, gives off a hand pass. Another one inboard, back to Allen. Can he have a shot at the goals? No, chopped off. And a last-ditch forward thrust gets chopped off. Dillon with the mark in the last line of defence for the Bombers. So Josh Dillon, last line of defence. His side leads by 4 goals. The raging favourites up by that margin, and there's a mark out there by the big man for the Bombers in Norris. And
beautiful rainbow.
Beautiful rainbow covering Memorial Oval.
Seen those last week on the way back from Kai.
Yes.
One of the best you've seen, you said.
Yeah, it was an absolute
neat
cracker, wasn't it?
Ball out for a stoppage centre wing, and I don't think there'll be much time left. That's 27 and a half minutes into this term.
Well, the first 2 quarters went 26 both quarters, and you wouldn't imagine it'd be much longer.
So it is a 24-point margin. 4 goals the difference. Kyabram leads Shepparton second semi-final. The Bombers have one hand on a grand final berth to atone for last year if they can. The ball's on centre wing. Here's Weirden again. He hand passes to Mattingly. All tied up but slips the tackle except for the leg. The leg gives him the free kick. So it was a nice legging as far as leggings go. But illegal, said the umpire. Now over the top to Whitford. Whitford gives it in turn. They go inside 50. Mueller out on a long lead. Mark's diving outstretched, and he will have a shot for goal. I would say he'll have to kick it from just outside 50, and he's not making any hesitation about going back, Hollywood.
No.
The wind has dropped.
There goes that three-quarter time siren, so this will push it out to, well, what some might think an impossible margin. Mueller has an opportunity to almost put it to bed. His goal kicking today has certainly not been on song, and that is demonstrative of the afternoon that he has had in front of goal. Kyle Mueller, who's, well, won the goal kicking for the home and away season, and unfortunately for him today just hasn't had the goal kicking lip here, and really just let Kai open up on them in this last quarter. They want to still come out, kick the first goal, maybe even kick the first two, and keep the dream alive. The Shep Footy Club final quarter, here we go. Kyabram win it out of the middle, sock it off the deck there. Morris can't quite pick it up, he runs into some traffic. Tied up, umpire said no prior opportunity, and it'll be a ball up. Centre half forward for Kyabram. They're kicking to the left of your radio dial in this, the final term, with thanks to Daryl Twitt Motors. A Volkswagen Tiguan all-space 7-seater. Great sponsors of 1FM Live and Local. Demo model available, $58,990. Drive away, no more to pay. Go in and test drive it on Monday. It is a beautiful vehicle. Middle of the ground now. Ball hits the deck, and another stoppage in the first minute and a half. Shepparton just need to kick the first goal. Realistically, if they're a chance at keeping themselves alive in this contest, there's a couple of proppy-looking high players out there. Now, Joshy Dillon looks as though he's hurt a calf, or maybe even a bit of a twang on the Achilles there. Hopefully it's the earlier, not the latter, as the ball now enters its way inside Kyabram's scoring zone. Picked up now by, it was Cox there who lost it, breaking free there. Mattingly, he's dropped the footy according to the umpire. Just got boot to ball, but incorrect disposal is what the umpire has adjudicated, and the resultant free kick will go the way of Hiscock, will it? Thanks to GVL. Down to you, please, Brandon Riley.
He's come off just complaining of a bit of a corky in that sort of lower calf.
Yeah, he starts sort of thinking, I don't know, when do you pull the trigger in terms of thinking about 2 weeks' time for Kyabram if they do happen to get up, which most likely will at this stage.
Hard ball to win across defensive 50 for the Bears. They come in all numbers. Here is Norris for the Bombers. Gives it to Whitford. The quick kick by Ironside, high up and under, will land near the square. Getting back for it. There was Hiscock tracking it towards the goals, but it was safely through the behind. So a rush behind, or a kick, I suppose, a behind to Ironside, I should say. And that's the first score on the board for this final term. 2.5 minutes in, and on the Daryl Twitt Motors scoreboard, Kyabram lead at 7 goals, 16 plays, 58. A 25-point lead as Stretton kicks the ball down centre wing. Bombers have the numbers. The kick inside will be marked safely, and it's marked by Weirden. Weirden over the top to Mattingly. Mattingly over the top. It's possession ball here. Morris kicks inside 50. Mangan gets up high, slapped off hands, and no, it's still alive. Mueller takes the ball off out on the full, I think. No, boundary umpire right there. I thought
Mueller wants it. Not getting it.
So left forward pocket.
So 25-point the lead to Kyabram in this final term, on their way to redemption with their spot into a grand final. They've been gallant, the Shep Footy Club. Is there another twist in the tail of what is this second semi-final here?
What do we made of it, boys? Kyabram today?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be bringing players off at this point in time because they've got the week off next week, so I'd just be running the game out. They've been far from convincing this afternoon, Hollywood.
Absolutely.
The Bombers, they've got bigger fish to fry, so they'll really want to start playing the type of footy that we know that the Kai Footy Club is capable of doing. They've shown us that across such a long journey of time. Ironside bravely takes the mark. Reardon, disposal number 37, with thanks to AJ's motorcycles.
Plenty.
He has had leather poisoning this afternoon. Out wide now to Sheldon.
He can roost it.
He can go really long if he wants to, right up to Gemmell. Now Mitch Brett and Pettifer, who's had a pretty quiet afternoon. He's lofty standard. Picked it up, handballs over the top now. Weirden just arches the back and gets one back out to Pettifer, who spirals one off the side of the boot. It almost worked out though for Mangan, who had one bite of it and then couldn't quite hold on to it. Now it was a Stretton who's unable to control the footy, and it rushes over the line as a soccer attempt there by Mueller. You can count the point for him. Goes through, and Kyabram get it out to 26 points, Hollywood.
I just think the week off for Kai as well, another bit of a factor. I know they've got some sore bodies, but geez, I reckon they'd love to run into the grand final.
Oh, here's a turnover. Pettifer turns the ball over and kicks it for a mark inside 50 to Whitford. I think he's got the journey, got the leg in him. What do you think, Stats
Oh,
man?
yeah, definitely. He could kick this from here.
And gee, it looks a lot calmer now. But there was a bit of a breeze in the first half,
Yes.
Kyle, but Whitford gives the little heel a little tap. That's a signal of confidence. I've seen it before. As he comes in, right foot, heads goalwards. It's going to be offline as soon as you sum it up like that. Talk it up, and it's always through for a behind. So behind on the board to Whitford, and that's a 26-point lead now to the Kyabram Bombers. And
Thanks to the GMCU, Dub, you're happy. The Dogs, they trail by 5 points over GWS.
Yeah, but they were more than 20 points down at one point in time.
20.
Yep.
We're at 26 points here at Memorial Oval. The Bombers look to have a grand final berth in their keeping because we've played 6 minutes into this final term on the Darrell Twit Motors scoreboard. Kyabram 7:18.60, Shepparton 4:9.33.
Yep, and the rotations are running a little bit heavier on some of their star players at the moment, Hollywood, so you're on to that. As Mick Mattingly now spending more than his fair share of time on the bench. Now Sheldon wins it at centre half back. Now Mitch Brett just in damage control too. The Shep Footy Club really now. Coolstock with an opportunity to kick it out of bounds on the full. And just like to send a really big shout out to Peter Summers. Hopefully he's listening in right now. Thank you very much for all of your help and support. I'll catch you in Penella tomorrow. He's already up and gone. He's been here all day. Half his luck, but doing a fantastic job with the digital signage. Peter Summers there. Please drive safely. Cut off by Ironside now.
Usually a dead eye, Rowan Hiscock.
Certainly is. Tried to cut off a little bit more. And
I reckon this 17-year-old kid, Riley Ironside's been pretty solid this afternoon.
he's been quite reasonable, stats man. But I think Shep can take a lot of heart out of this game. And they can go into next week. And, you know, they've now not disgraced themselves so far. Still time left for Kai to really ram the point home, as that's one of the better looking set shot kicks we've seen all day. And an exclamation mark on your point, Statsy. Now you can put a goal next to Ironside's name. That is a sensational drop punt, and that is clearly the best set shot kick we've seen here all day. Travels the full measure outside of 50 and pushes it out to 33 points, and Kyabram are officially on their way, ladies and gentlemen, to redemption. They lead, as I said, by 33 points.
Yeah, I'll probably now start to spend your A-graders on the bench, Potsy. Just give them a little bit of a rest, that little bit longer.
No reason not to. This game is now beyond doubt. As Reeves gets the kick out of the centre, Mattingly's there to track the ball to the point of the square, gives it backwards to Weirden. Guess who? He gives it backwards also, and they wax it between them. Weirden's at least had double-digit stats in at least 2 or 3 quarters. That gets him into the high 30s, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah, he's been brilliant.
as the Bombers, they just work it around, looking to go to centre half forward now, fisted by big Harry Boyd. But at the fall of the pack there is the Bombers in Mattingly, kicks inside 50. Mueller, nice little tap, couldn't complete the mark, but he doubles back on it. Now he has a snapshot for goal, and he's hooked it too far and threw for it behind to Kyle Mueller. That's 1 goal, 3, is it stats for Kyle Mueller? Or
1 goal, 4, plus I think 1 out on the full.
yeah, well, that's it. They don't always tell the full story, do they?
No, he's had plenty of chances today. Hasn't been his afternoon. Kyle Mueller could comfortably, I mean, he's played a great game, but he just hasn't converted. As Ash Holland runs at that, hits him on the chest, just bounced straight off it. Should have been marking that, the big fella. Unfortunately for him, he doesn't. So it hits the deck. He'll get a stop and an opportunity to redeem himself by winning this tap down, which he does straight to Nick Allen, who gets it to Stretton, who kicks it around his body. Out of bounds on the full.
Jason Sherlock.
There's Lockie Smith now with the footy. Too far out to score, about 85 metres out. Look at the size of his thighs, this bloke.
Big man.
Absolute tree trunks of legs. Lockie Smith now to centre half forward. What a kick. That is a daisy cutter. And he puts it right on the pectoral muscle.
Not sure why Brendan Bicknell giving feedback to Lockie Smith.
Coolstock. Coolstock takes the mark, 45 out. And his kick will probably need to travel just over 50 metres. And maybe just a little bit of that friendly banter coming from the bench there. Long right foot kick on goal. If it makes the distance, it's home. And Kyabram get their shot at redemption. It's over here at Memorial Oval. Make no mistake about that whatsoever. Kai will be going to the grand final of 2019. It's now just a matter of who is their opponent going to be. Will it be Shep? Will it be Rochi? Or will it be Echuka? I think we all want it to be Echuka, but off the back of today still, I think that Shepparton can take heart out of this performance, boys. Look, they've let their guard down here in this last quarter, but gee, they fought hard to stay in the contest. They just can't kick goals.
Either way, next weekend's preliminary final will be an absolute belter at the D.
It will, and it's 40 points here at Memorial Oval. All wrapped up, as you've just heard, 11 minutes into the fourth quarter. Kyabram into the grand final, and just playing academically as Mangan marks at centre half forward. It's all academic from here on in. He's lining up for goal number 3, is it, Statsman?
He's lining up, yes, for goal number 3. 3 goals too, I've got him on the afternoon.
Yep, 3
If he kicks this,
yeah,
he'll be 3
if
goals
he kicks
too.
this, it's 3 goals too, yeah. So, Brad Mangan kicked 3 all in the last quarter last week in the qualifying, and now to line up for another 3 this afternoon. That'll make it 6-4, the final series. Mangan comes in, very deliberate, very straight, very true goal, said the umpire. So 1 in the first, 1 in the third, and 1 in the final term here to Brad Mangan.
Apparently not going next week to the prelim. I've been rubbed out.
You want to just omit yourself at late notice.
46 points the margin here, boys, on the Darrell Twitt Motors scoreboard, and the beautiful Amarok. You get to ride in that every weekend, courtesy of Darrell Twitt Motors.
Except for when we've got the Tiguan Statsy.
Yeah. Boys, I haven't had Shepparton down for an inside 50 in this final quarter. In fact, it's 8 inside 50s to Kai to Shepparton 0.
They need to get the Amarok. And as the stoppage comes out, it's a free kick to Mattingly. 46 points the margin. Mattingly, some rays of spring sunshine just bursting through here at Memorial Oval at the moment. Here's Widden. Haven't called his name too much. Oh, here's Mattingly. And they wax it between them, the 2 most prolific ball getters of the day. And they kick a nice ball out towards half forward, looking for Whitford, and Whitford at centre half forward makes no mistake. And, well, this may be a big margin, fellas. It won't tell the story of what Shepparton brought to the table. It will tell the story of how Kyabram you need everything going right to beat a Kyabram side, but here he comes, Whitford. This to make it 52 points, the margin, and it is.
A lovely kick.
52 points the margin now as the Bombers go marching into the grand final.
And isn't it amazing that all of a sudden, it's out to 52 points. You put the cue in the rack, and that's clearly what the Shep Footy Club have done. Look, they are down a rotation as well. That certainly doesn't help, but I mean, some of their key ball winners in Stratton, Allen, Gagliardi, they have literally been unsighted in this last term, and they are just allowing Kyabram to do whatever they want, and they are ramming the point home.
As the ball comes back out of the centre and they ram it home even more. Inside 50, Pettifer. Play on, it hit the ground, said the umpire. Here is Pell. Hand passes back to Mangan. Mangan shrugs a tackle, pumps one back to Pettifer. Mark inside 50.
Now,
directly in front.
At three-quarter time, what was the message, BR, thanks to GVL? Was it a call that if we lose by 10 goals, let's not really care?
Yeah, correct.
Oof. Well,
and I'll make that 2 rotations there down because Dawson hasn't reappeared onto the ground with that hamstring.
Yeah, right.
Haven't kicked a goal. Well, they've kicked one goal in
since
3 quarters.
Since the 14-minute mark.
Yeah, boys, it's 10 marks inside 50-0 in the second half.
Pettifer rolls in. He's such a good kick. We know that. And he puts it straight through the middle. Kane Pettifer. He has kicked his first of the afternoon. But thanks to GVA, back down to you. And this one's now getting out to the 10-goal plus area.
Yeah, I'll just keep adding on that too for the Shep Bears. That Magpie in the third quarter was actually more dangerous in attacking than the Shep Bears were.
You've been holding on to that one all day,
Oh, mate, it's still going on over there. Magpie loves it. You'd think it'd learn over all these years.
So ball back in the middle of the ground. Now it was Stratton who won the hard footy, got it to centre half forward. Free kick will go the way of Wilson, who gets it up into the forward pocket now. Gagliardi over the top. Oh, really clever little tap to himself. Can he pick it up? He can't quite control it. He keeps it alive. He sockers it out in front of Joel Snowy Brett. He lost the footy, picked up by Boyd, tied up in a tackle. We'll have a ball up in front of Shepparton's goal.
Clever play.
Certainly was unfortunate for him that he wasn't able to finish it off, the little excitement machine. Or talk about excitement machines, a karate kid out of fresh air. He did it last week under lights against the Tura. Doesn't come off today though, Joel Snowy Brett out of mid-air. And have a look now, the run, the dash, the carry. This is the Kyabram we all know and love. This is the Kyabram that have lost one game in 4 years. Has now Pettifer, has it at centre half forward. He looks to send it long inside 50. Who's underneath at Ironside? Can't quite take the mark. He beats off 2 Shepparton opponents and then he's smashed into the deck. Picked up now by Holland. And Holland can settle things down and, well, just about turn it over. And here come Kai again. This way, that away. Goes Coolstock. Then Ironside. Inside and touched on the line, is it?
No goal.
That is a goal.
Sausage.
As a matter of fact, that might have actually been Nicky Coolstock, I reckon, who's ended up on the end of it. Please, Potsy, if you can help me out there.
Well, it's either Coolstock or it might be Dylan. So just to throw another one at you, mate. So,
I saw the 9 on the back there, so that's why I called Ironside, but I do believe that it probably was actually in the end Joshy Dillon. So let's put it in the book down for Joshy Dillon. What do you reckon? Are you happy with that, Hollywood?
Yeah, we'll mark it down for him.
I'll get on the Sporting Pulse and see if they can...
Thanks, mate.
Yeah.
As it blows out now, it's 64 points
Real
the
ugly.
margin.
Real
out of the
ugly.
centre, the Bombers go again. Getting back was Hiscock, tried to take the mark, he couldn't do so. The Bombers coming from everywhere, and they pounce on it enough to force a stoppage.
Potsy, this is a great example to Shepparton. What are they doing without Andronako? Where are their goals coming from?
Yeah.
If he's held next week and the week
Yes.
after, if they happen to get there.
Sporting Pulse is saying it's Kane Pettifer. With that last goal.
No. Well, they haven't updated it from
Yeah.
No, they've got him down for 2 goals in a row.
Okay,
Here's
well,
Mueller.
I can guarantee it wasn't Pettifer.
Okay, well, it's in the book, so
That's what they've got.
Comes across now to Bell in last line of defence. Cox is in trouble for the Bears. Comes to Mangan, bursts through a tackle. Surely that's holding the ball. It is. Tried to burst through the tackle, and it was holding the ball.
They can have Pettifer down there, mate. But
BR might be able to enlighten us. BR.
Josh Dillon.
Josh Dillon.
Thank you, Joshy Dillon. Thank you very much for clearing that up.
Anyway, Jackie Wilson for the Bears. Kicks long, half-back. Ricky's flies high. Can't complete the mark. Comes down to ground where under pressure is Yenko. Stretton is there for the Bears, but the Bombers have the numbers. Here's Pell. Pell gives it over to Dillon again, looking for another one. Here's Mattingly in the pocket. Left foot centering ball does the team thing, but coming out to meet it there was Bell. And Bell marks last line of defence for the Bears. He gives it over the top there to McGregor. McGregor left, right, then left again, and then he kicks it and turns it over now inside 50. Dillon marks 45 metres out from goal, and he'll have a shot for another one.
Yeah, 2 on the spin for Joshy Dillon.
Yeah.
As Kyabram just now
wrap it up.
To
put it in
Red
hot
set
ball.
stars, BR,
Yes,
Paddy Weird,
indeed.
got the gown on.
Yep. And Tommy Holman down there as well, just watching proceedings unfold, as this scoreboard will not be reflective of the game that we've had this afternoon. This last quarter has just been absolute carnage, and Kyabram have had it all their own way. This is going across the face this time, and it'll go through for a behind. So 98, so it'll be a 65-point deficit, and we edge across now to red time in the final term.
Well, they've kicked 6 goals in this last quarter, Kyabram. 6-goal quarter. Is that correct that for me?
Yeah, Statsy will get that.
It is a 6-goal quarter, yep.
6-goal quarter, so it's been a great finish by the flag favourites.
Yep. And
Nearly said the wrong word there.
Yeah, almost. But
Nearly said reigning something. The reigning premier is Shepparton out there.
Correct.
And they are still in with a chance. If you're listening, the Bears have gone down today. Still time to play, but they will get another chance in the prelim final next week. So there's still a chance to defend their title.
chopped off by Childs now, pumps it long inside 50. Big fly there. Mueller couldn't quite take the mark. Ball hits the deck now, picked up Hiscock. Shovels it back now to Brett, who kicks it up the line. Almost taken by Yenko. Now picked up by Pell. Pell streams in. Pell finishes, and Pell gets on the score sheet. And it's just party time at Kyabram now. Have a look, the high fives, the smiles, the pats on the backside. It's all happening out there. And, well, another goal scorer for Kyabram, whom I believe, Stats, and you can help me out with this one too, is their 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th individual goal scorer for the afternoon.
I think you're correct there, Jace.
With thanks to GVL, down to you, Brandon Riley.
No, it's actually not that bad down here. I'm quite happy. You'll find even Hayden Gemmell's come off and he's just having a rest too. He's had a good afternoon. Old Dunlop, we call him. Loves pumping his own tyres up.
Oh, well, he can do that today.
Free kick to the veteran Nick Allen in the centre of Memorial Oval. The margin out to 71 points as the kick from Allen finds Wardle. Little 9-iron kick inside 50 was chopped off by Smith. Comes over to the big man Norris. The Bears are still with a chance. Wilson's in there, but the Bombers have the numbers. Big Norris, he kicks it, but it'll be chopped off by Mitch Brett.
He's been good today.
Yeah, no problem with his game. And Brett gives it over to Wardle, who also, apart from one blatant error we saw him make, has been pretty good also. And Nick Allen, the veteran, with a mark or free kick. Take your pick. So this is just really academic junk time, as they call it, football at the moment. 22 minutes in. Even the Bears are milking the clock, if you can believe that. At 71 points down, even the Bears are milking the clock at the moment.
Look, for those that are just joining us, obviously the game well and truly over here. 71 points the margin, but Andrew Narco out, Dogood out, Wild, best on ground last week, an all-year NAB Cup player, potentially draft material, out. Reece O'Sullivan, well, we know all about him. Teddy Linden, we know all about, all out
Stevenson
this morning.
To come back next week.
Yep.
Stevenson will be back.
It'll be a very different looking Shepparton outfit than what we're seeing here this afternoon, as the ball inside 50 again for Kyabram. This time Lockie Dillon, as a matter of fact, Joshy Dillon comes running through. He got ironed out. And no great dramas. He's straight back up like Gumby. And goes through for another minor score. 72 points the difference.
Eddie Scarlett not agreeing with the home final. He'd rather played at the G other than Cardinia Park. They want to play in front of 30,000, which is fair enough.
Well, played in 3 flags there.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you? It's an interesting debate, the old the Geelong home final debate, isn't it?
Oh, it's a nothing argument.
Seems to mean a lot to those down at Sleepy Hollow.
Certainly does. Jonty Wardle, beautiful pass now to Joel Snowy.
If they
Brett,
didn't live in a backwood, there probably wouldn't be a problem.
Brett Goalless. We call him Mr. September.
Just a satellite shanty town, isn't it?
Little drive-by.
Not bad down there.
Yeah, not bad.
One problem with it.
You're driving away from it.
He's, always windy in Geelong.
Yeah.
Always windy.
Cold.
Can be at times.
So
Brett, set shot on goal. He's first of the afternoon, and finally he cracks the seal and puts it through for the Shep Footy Club. So first goal
Since the 15-minute mark of the third term.
Thank you very much for that, Statsy. And then the only other goal for Shepparton before that was at the
7-minute mark of the first quarter.
Yep. So it's certainly, as I mentioned earlier on, going to be a very different Shepparton Footy Club to what we see tomorrow. We've got to look forward to Echuca versus Rochester. We won't be mucking around post-game here, boys. We'll be wrapping things up pretty quickly. We've got to get back to Joshy Revens in the studio of 1FM. He'll take us around the grounds. Murray League action
You're
today.
ringing me up, Revo.
Yes, not a problem. He can do that if you've got service on the mobile. Thanks a lot, Vodafone. It cost me the season. As Pell, middle of the ground, wins it out, bombs it inside 50. Oh, big fly over the top, Mueller. Bit of a fresh airy. Now he just has a shy at them, and he's got one.
He's got it.
Finally, Kyle Mueller. He wants it. Mangan wants to give him the high five, but he's that filthy on himself for the afternoon. He could literally have kicked 7 today, Mueller. But finally, he gets another goal and, some reluctant celebration from Kyle Mueller. But Kai just doing it so easily. Down to the boundary. Thank you, Brandon Riley.
There's 5 on the bench here for Kai too, mate.
Yep.
Spot
done
on.
that.
5.
They've done that before.
Yeah, that's happened before, but...
Geez, that's a bit of,
Disrespect, is it?
Well, I tell you what, Shep put the cue in the rack. As soon as Kai come out and kick the first goal this quarter, their body language just dropped.
Yeah.
And they're just...
72 points for those that want to know the margin, but those that really want to know what's happening is that Kai is in the grand final in a fortnight from tomorrow. And
The 8th time in 11 seasons, boys.
good stat, that one, Stats. 8th time in 11 seasons, and Shepparton will play next week's prelim final at Deakin. They run it through. The young player in Ricky's loses the handle on the ball, hands it over now to Childs, who bursts through half-back, kicks one up in the Mangan direction. He taps it very, very cleverly, gives it off now to Edwards. Edwards kicks to Pettifer, and Pettifer marks out in front.
what's Cuz have to say?
This is just Harlem Globetrotters now for Kai.
Yeah, it is. It's a bit of showtime here. And percentage doesn't count in finals, does it?
There's the siren.
As now Pettifer, a shot on goal for his second.
So we understand why you have a set shot after a siren in home and away. Why do you do it after a final?
They want a goal.
He wants a goal, that's right. Exactly.
So Pettifer wheels in, right foot kick has been hooked over to the left, and that will do it. The pain is over for the Shep Footy Club. They acquitted themselves really well. We spoke about it in the car on the way across and said, you know what, even if Shep can turn up for a half of footy, we got that. We got the excitement in the first half. Then they were within arm's reach in that third quarter. And Kai have just come out and absolutely demoralised the Shep Footy Club in the final term, who were down 2 rotations and have lost this game by 73 points. But have they lost the battle? Is there still a heartbeat at the home ground, Deakin Reserve? And maybe, just maybe, dare to dream that they can do what many thought impossible and go back-to-back in 2019. But for Kyabram, is this the first chapter in redemption? The home and away season undefeated. It meant absolutely nothing to Paul Newman. This is what counted for him, and you can almost feel the release of tension coming from the Kyabram cohort this afternoon here at Memorial Oval as they cruise their way in to that very last day in September and have that shot at winning 3 flags in 4 years in what will be Paul Newman's last year as senior coach here of what is one of the most amazing country football sides you will ever see. We're going to be back after the break to wrap it all up here for you on 1FM Live and Local. It was Kyabram by 73 points.